And that report by Catherine Norris-Trent, who joins us now on the set. Catherine, good to see you.
Hi there.
So you were able to go inside Notre Dame, as we just saw, and you saw the progress up close. What did you find and what remains to be done?
I mean, it's so striking when you go in there just how much time they've spent removing, in the last 2 years, removing the scaffolding that was in place when the Notre Dame fire took place. There was obviously restoration work going on the roof. And that fire burned and mangled much of that scaffolding and kind of molded it to the ancient stone structure. So in the past 2 years, a lot of the time they've just been trying to shore up the building and to remove that scaffolding without bringing it down, basically. And that has been a highly delicate operation, which took a great deal of time. So that scaffolding is now off. Any scaffolding you see now is being put in place for repairs and restoration. They are moving forward, but clearly, as you saw in that report, there's this huge hole, an exposed hole right in the heart of Notre Dame from where the spire crashed through the roof back in April 2019. Now, the plan is they're going to quite quickly hope to get in place, like they're calling it a parapluie, like an umbrella, a rain cover to protect it from the elements, because over the winter and spring and autumn, the ancient stonework is still getting lashed by wind, rain and snow. So they're trying to protect the very delicate stonework right at the top of Notre Dame, the vaults, which are 30 meters high and have been, been made even more fragile by the fire. There are cracks in there, you saw in our report, which date back to the Middle Ages, which have been reopened by the fire. And so now they're shoring that up so that it doesn't collapse during the renovation. But most of the renovation itself has yet to start. That should start this summer or going into September.
Well, so having said all that, Macron has set this really ambitious goal to reopen the cathedral in just 3 years from now. How likely is that to happen?
Again, it's a very ambitious timescale. Indeed, when you ask people about it, they say, look, we're going to do our best and we're going to try and meet that schedule. But there's no way, I think, the whole building work can be finished. We saw the head of the restoration works there, General Georgelin, saying, look, it's not going to be completely finished by 2024, but they want to get it to the stage where there can be mass, there can be religious ceremonies inside Notre Dame by 2024. So people, maybe coming to Paris in a few years' time, if the coronavirus pandemic allows for international travel again, you're not perhaps going to be inside getting your visit. Notre Dame used to attract 13 million tourists every year, 35,000 a day. And, at the moment, there's no way the structure can welcome that kind of numbers of people. There are still concerns about lead contamination. That's why we have all the protective gear on, the coronavirus, social distancing, and it's still very fragile. So we're still a long way to go before it being reopened up to the general public.
How exactly will it look? I mean, is it going to look exactly as it was before? Or are they going to do anything different?
They've decided they're going to build it back identically as it was in the 19th century, the last major restoration and overhaul of Notre Dame, which started in 1843, overseen by the legendary French architect Viollet-le-Duc. So the plan is to go back to how he constructed it. There was talk immediately after the fire of perhaps, building a modern spire in place, even made with glass. There was talk of gardens, even a swimming pool or a light shop there. That has all been thrown out of the window. They're going to rebuild the spire in timber covered with lead. The roof is going to be covered with lead as well. And it's going to be, a replica of the original, the restoration of Viollet-le-Duc. The cathedral itself, the first stones date back to 1163. It's from the 12th century, but it's obviously been it's evolved over time, over the centuries. And then there was this big overhaul in the 19th century. And that's the Notre Dame that we're going to hope to find in a few years' time.
Okay, Catherine Norris-Trent, thanks so much. We want to mention that you'll be on the debate tonight, and viewers can see your full report then.
Right.
That's at 7:10 p.m. Paris time. Thanks so much, Catherine.
Thank you, Monty.
Okay.